Hey, today's a good day. It's a Wednesday, I think, and I'm wearing shorts again. I cannot tell you how good it feels to wear shorts again. I did once. It's like the day I got back from Ohio back in March. It was like 72 and I wore shorts. But today's got to be near 80 right now. And it's not going to last a couple days. Like tomorrow's 75, and then I think back down to 64 or something. But that's not too bad. So I've been in the backyard all day. I wrote an article on the website. It's not yet published. I need to get some pictures, which I might try to do right now. It depends on the lighting. Wrote an article on the wireless charging retrofit, and I want the picture, like the headline, the preview picture, to be the phone sitting in the console. You know, when you first plug the phone in, the green battery comes up and the screen lights up and it's all pretty and you know it's getting fed. Well, I want that, and that's going to be really tricky to shoot. I don't want to do it in the shop because it'll be in the shadows, and the lighting has to be right so it doesn't show all the little lint and hairs and like scratches on the black trim in there. So I might try it here before I head up to the shop, maybe turn the car around, see what happens. But I'm just enjoying an unbelievable day. Finally. Hey, we got about 10 o'clock. I don't recall exactly what I filmed today. I know I did this afternoon out back. It was a beautiful day. I spent the afternoon, or part of the early afternoon back there. Then I headed up to the shop. I'm looking on a retrofit, actually two retrofits on the E60. One of them is a multimedia retrofit, and I'll clue you guys in on that. It's the 34th E60 M5 made for the North American market. It's really early. It's a September 2nd, 2005 production. USA production of the E60 M5 started September 1st, 2005 for the 2006 model year. Anyways, the car is completely based. There's not one single option on the car. It's a totally base M5. Whoever ordered that car just wanted to have an M5 ASAP. They didn't care what was on it. So it does not have Sirius XM. I look up years ago when my dad bought it, like the sticker at BMW San Diego when he bought it CPO in 2012 said that it had XM, and that was a selling point to him because the X5 he had, if you are a longtime vlog viewer, you remember the 2008 E70 X530 SI that he had in space gray, that had Sirius XM. We used that driving across the country. It was badass. He brought that car here from Ohio. Kenan and I drove it from Cleveland to San Diego in 2012. So fast forward, or in 2012. So then when that car was unfortunately damaged in an accident beyond repair, he replaced it with, he wanted to get another X5, but he saw the M5, he's like, wait a minute, 10 cylinders versus 6, there's a difference here. So we got the M5, it said it had Sirius, it didn't, then he wanted to add it. Everybody that he wanted to get a quote from said $3,500, yep, $3,500, $3,500, he thought that's retarded. So we got the aftermarket unit, put a Densian in there to hack into the CD changer for the audio, and then there's this aftermarket little pod thing sitting like right here on the console. And it works fine. There's no problems. In fact, it probably works better than the OEM stuff would. But we're going to be quickly approaching a time when we want to get rid of that. So we need to retrofit the actual BMW Sirius. So I've been doing research on that. It exists. There's an option, S693 or S695A is called Sirius XM pre-wiring. So I decode the VIN. I look at that. It has option S693A, but it doesn't say Sirius pre-wiring. It says rear speaker system. What the hell does that mean? It's the only option code out of a list today that I looked at on a forum of like 5,000 option codes. It's the only one that has two meanings for the same code. So I dug into the car today, I pulled the rear carpeting apart in the back left corner, and I found out that it does indeed have Sirius XM pre-wiring. And the meat and potatoes that I'm asking people about today, any of you viewers, we're talking about a car made in late 2005, and it's pre-wired for Sirius XM. And the antenna wire, which I presume goes to an antenna located up in the shark fin on the roof, it's not a single wire or pin. I'm going to say pin, but they're big pins, like they're 10 times the size of a normal pin that you would think of. It's a FACR connector for Sirius XM. It's like the coax cable for digital DSP on an E39. It's that same kind of deal, bayonet kind of thing. There's two of them. There's two wires in one housing. So you look at the connector, and instead of just one round thing that you stick on the Sirius module, no, there's two in one connector, and they're like a half an inch apart. And it's pink, so you can tell it's an antenna, but like, why are there two wires? So I tried to do so much research today, and I just cannot find anything online about why Sirius antennas used to have two cables. The only thing I found was somebody said that it used to share the signal between the XM antenna and then a terrestrial FM antenna, and it would use the FM to convert between a digital and analog and pump it through the car that way. I don't know how. I don't know. The question I have is, if we buy one of these eBay-sourced used E60 generation, E90 generation, iDrive CCC generation Sirius modules, can we buy one that has the single antenna connector? Because 99.9% of them have the single antenna connector, just like the module in my E39, in my E46 330. In modern cars, use a single pin, single plug connector for one antenna wire. Can we buy one of those, take the cable in the car, break it down, and just plug one of those in, and if it doesn't work, then try the other one, and just, you know, look for the Sirius antenna and just ignore the FM terrestrial antenna, assuming that's what it is? Will that work? I need to talk to somebody who's done audio and Sirius installations and retrofits for like 15 years or more. And I don't know many people like that. I don't know any people like that. But I suppose I could start calling audio stores around here and see if I can get to somebody who knows the answer to that question. Or I could go and buy the older module that I have found on eBay that has the 2-pin antenna connection, the 2-plug antenna connection, and just use the last version of those. And the problem is those modules are called Gen 2, and they are dated at about May through May 2005 through like February 2006. Starting March 1st, 2006, BMW ditched the 2-pin Sirius antenna and went to the single pin, which is still in use today. So I don't know what to do. I would like to have a newer module. Like, I could get a module made in 2011 if I can figure out how to use a single pin, but if I stick with the double pin, I'm back in 2005. Is there a difference? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe there's no discernible difference between the 05 and the 11 module. Here is what is stupid to me. My M5 was made in 2000, 6 years before the E60 was made, or 5.75 years before the E60 was made. And it was significantly easier to retrofit a 2010 made navigation or made Sirius XM module because of the E83X3 series that used iBus and used the same generation, and it's overly complicated and my head is spinning right now. But let me know if you know anything about these 2 antenna versus single antenna Sirius XM modules. With that, we made hamburgers tonight. I ate 2 patties because I'm a gluttonous American. It was delicious. I sat on the couch and I did more research on Progman. Not program, Progman, and compatibility with a Windows 7 x64 VM or x86 VM running in Mac OS X. That doesn't work. I need a VM running on a native 32-bit Windows PC. I'm thankful for the fact that I was a big PC nerd from 2004 through 2010. And I learned a lot about formatting drives in 32-bit and 64-bit and drivers and emulation and just like stuff. You had to know that to use a PC. PCs are so unreliable and unusable. You had to know how to troubleshoot in order to make it through your daily life. And now as a Mac user for 10 years and 4 months, can you believe it? 10 years and 4 months I've been using a Mac now. I don't have to spend the majority of my time troubleshooting just to make it work, just to make it boot. So I am a little bit out of the loop, and I'm an end user now, essentially. So I've got to go back and like learn this shit again. But I actually dug through my desk and I found I'm talking way too long. This is the longest end clip in a while. I found a SanDisk USB flash drive, 2 of them actually. This one has season 7 of Seinfeld on it. This one has a bootable Windows 7 All Editions x86, so that's 32-bit OS on it. So if I go into the BIOS on a PC and I configure it to boot from USB before it boots from the hard drive, SATA, or IDE or EIDE, and before it boots from the DVD-ROM drive, I can boot into a Windows 7 x86 installer here. So if I can find a PC that has 64-bit Windows on it, I could actually install 32-bit Windows on it. Then I could install VMware, BMW SSS, and Progman, however the hell that works. Thanks to Bobby and his help years ago, I have INPA, I have Ediabos, however you say that. I have TIS, I don't have DIS, I don't have GT1, I don't have that stuff, but I need Progman for what I'm trying to do on the E60 to activate to activate an actual BMW Sirius module. And that's the last bone I'm going to pick tonight. Is on an E39 you install a feature, you plug it in, and it's there. It works. You installed it, you plugged it in, it works. Why on an E60 and newer BMWs do you have to not only install them, plug them in, but then turn them on? Why? Can somebody explain to me a benefit other than the fact that now you have to take the car to the dealer and pay them $1,000 to flip a switch in software? Is there a benefit to having to code features on and off in a car? I think it's a scam. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Night.